Eric, can I play a song for you?
Yeah, I'd like nothing less or more. I'd like it if you played the song.
Wonderful. I would like to serenade you with this song I found. Okay. I fell down a hole learning about the Michigan Dogman, and it's a Michigan cryptid. And so in 1987, a DJ named Steve Cook played this on the radio on WTCM FM in Traverse City, Michigan. It's called The Legend, and I'm going to play a little bit from it right now. I'll throw that out there. I'm playing this from YouTube, which is including several little screenshots of...
yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking at here.
That's a Dogman, baby.
Okay.
A cool summer morning in early June is when the legend began. At a nameless logging camp in Wexford County where the Manistee River ran. 11 lumberjacks near the Garland Swamp found an animal they thought was a dog. In a playful mood, they chased it around.
So you got your classic lumberjacks doing some lumbering, and oh man, there's a dog. There's a dog out there. Let's go frolic and chase it. You know, as lumberjacks do in Michigan when they find a dog.
Till it ran inside a hollow log. A logger named Johnson grabbed him a stick, poked around inside. Then the thing let out an unearthly scream and came out and stood upright.
There's 5 minutes of that. Little.
Is this here's my question? Is this just a made up story that this DJ made up, or is this like a local tale?
Eric, we will get I will answer all of this and more as we move into Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. Bark at the Moon, baby. We're talking about the Dogman.
I love it.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. My name is Brian, here as always with my handsome colleague, Eric. Eric, how are you?
What's up, man? I'm so ready to learn about the difference between dog man, regular dog, a man, a wolf man, and a wolf dog.
I have also spent some time trying to figure out the difference between those specific things, and I'm going to throw out there the results are inconclusive.
I'd like to broach another subject.
Yeah, please do.
Which is, first of all, so I recently got a haircut, and I feel like
looks great.
Thank you. I usually have very bushy eyebrows, and I feel like the barber went a little too close on the brows, and I'm looking at, and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable by my own lack of eyebrow.
Interesting. And you know, I will say, I didn't notice this before. They did go for the eyebrows a little. Your eyebrows look great, but they look a little different.
They're tight in. They're really tight to the face.
Can you go into a barber shop and just be like, just the eyebrows?
I think you could. They're probably going to charge you $25. I don't know if that's maybe the face. Now you're just the face shave price.
Right.
Get the full haircut. Right. It really is. The eyebrows are the no man's land of the head.
I would be mad if the eyebrows cost more than the face shave. Right?
Yeah. There's just two.
I was fully an adult before I realized that, like, I have no idea how to trim up my beard. So I just have my barber take care of it when I go get a haircut, and it's great.
Yeah.
I literally don't touch it between haircuts. And then
did you used to do it yourself and it was bad?
Yeah, pretty much. And it was real bad. And it would be it would usually be like I'd give it my earnest try, and then it was like, I guess the beard's got to go.
Wow, that's interesting. What if you do nothing? If you don't trim a beard at all? Does it get crazy?
So first off, if you're growing a beard, some guys can just grow a beard, right? Like just leave them alone for like a week and they have a beard. Guys, for me, I gotta if I let it go, it's gonna be patchy. So I have to kind of like maintain, keep trimming it down to the lowest point so that it all kind of comes in a little more evenly.
Oh, that's smart. I've never even thought about that.
Yeah. Okay. I asked a barber about it and he was like, yeah, you idiot. You...
What, dude? This is how stupid I am. I also just get very patchy facial hair, and I was like, "Oh, that just means I can never grow facial hair. I'm just going to shave it down to the baby skin nub every day."
Don't get me wrong. There are also it's just like it's not going to happen, but I think that's pretty rare. Talk to your barber. A barber will be able to help you out with that. Just tell them I want to grow a beard, and okay, cool. Well, we'll take this down, and then next time we'll take it down a little more.
I'm going to start showing up with the worst facial hair you've ever seen to this podcast every week, and you're hopefully not going to have the heart to tell me. You're like, looks great, bud. Your barber's really steering you in the right direction.
Really going well. I do want to do this. Speaking of where, I do want to do the full Wolfman, which I guess has been co-opted by Hugh Jackman and Wolverine, so it would just look like I was doing Wolverine. I have another off-topic question. How do you feel about pumpkin spice stuff? It's October.
I think it's good. Back when I used to drink, I used to really like pumpkin beers.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, how you liking it?
I'm at the point of it is we're recording this on 10/11/22, and so I would say last week of September I was like, it's pumpkin beer time, let's go. Now it's 10/11 and I'm like, I gotta get these things out of my fridge. You
don't like them too much. Well, what
I think
I
just went too hard on. Let's see. This is Southern Tier, which I think is a Connecticut thing. Don't quote me on that. Southern Tier, and this is Pumpkin, the Imperial Pumpkin Ale, and they claim on the bottle it is pumpkin pie in a glass, and it is pretty good.
Is it sweet? Is it too sweet?
No, it's here's the thing. I liked it. I liked when it came in a 4-pack, and I had the other two last week. I had 2 of them last week. And I really liked them. And now I'm now I've had, the pumpkin donuts and the, I've had several pieces of pie. And now I'm like, yeah, I fucking get it.
Can I make a bold claim?
Do it.
The pumpkin is just the watermelon of the cold times.
I don't see any. I can't argue with that at all.
I feel like the pumpkin is just the sexy watermelon's big freak orange cousin. Just comes on in.
Who is that? That's my cousin. It's a pumpkin.
Yeah, I'm a sexy water. By the way, we've established that as a watermelon, I'm a very sexy.
The sexiest of the fruits.
The sexiest melon is the water. Cantaloupe is a little plain. Kind of jealous. Small, very little.
Just watermelon or go home.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how. So we've agreed the watermelon is the sexy one. The pumpkin, which is a gourd, it's from the gourd side of the family. Gourds and melons have to be related, right?
They must be, right?
They must be. Big thing grows in a field. How unrelated could they be?
Bubble, a big vegetable bubble. Fruit, vegetable, whatever.
But they're the backwater cousins, is the thing.
Yeah, they're from the wrong side of the tracks.
Right.
They're a little rougher and tougher.
Right. All their teeth is because jack-o'-lanterns, they always got the one tooth in the mouth. That's
they're
the
missing
thing.
that tooth. Yep.
But I'm a fan of pumpkin, but I'm over it. I think it's a pie.
Okay, we did it already. Well, we're a third of the way into the month.
And it's I'm glad I grabbed a couple of Halloween decorations from my local Family Dollar on my corner.
That's fun.
And I had to get them because I finally learned over a couple of years, like first week of October, I'm like, I'm not really thinking about decorating or anything. And then by the time like the night of Halloween comes around, like, oh, carving a pumpkin would be a fun thing to do in my home. And then they're done. The stores are just done.
Yeah, they're long gone. Long gone.
It's full Christmas time now. Fuck Thanksgiving. We're in Christmas time.
Trying to buy a Christmas tree on Christmas Day, I feel like.
Right. It took me a couple of years to learn that. So finally, like last week, I was like, I got to get this stuff now.
Here's a question. Christmas has the pine tree, or December has the pine tree. Thanksgiving has the pumpkin. What's the vegetable of November?
It's it kind of just like, we still got all these pumpkins.
Yeah, let's make them into pies, I guess.
Right. And then we all got really excited about the pumpkins. No, you don't get a new one.
Yeah.
You don't get a new thing. We have decorative things at home. We have decorative vegetables at home.
It's true. I guess that's right. Interesting.
How do you feel about Halloween in general? Are you like a spooky Halloween guy?
You know what's funny, man, that I'm realizing now that the whole world is remote and I like don't go into a place. I feel like I took for granted how much of my Halloween feels I got from the workplace.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I love Halloween. It's my favorite.
It's great. You know what's
the best? It's maybe the best one.
You know what's nice about it is like it's one that you can really just like you become an adult and you really can kind of make it your own. There's no there's no family obligation with it usually.
Exactly.
It's just
I was going to say it's kind of the perfect it's kind of that it's great it's the one holiday that's equally great for kids and adults.
Yes. My wife and I watch horror movies all month. We like make a theme. Like this year, we're watching J horror movies. We're watching Japanese horror movies, and that's our little Halloween movie theme. And it's been a fun little tradition that we've been doing since we've been dating. Do
you switch up the lineup or you do the same movies every year?
Well, no, we pick a new theme every year.
Gotcha.
So like next year might just be vampires. But this year we're doing J horror, which has been fun because it's a blind spot for kind of both of us. But you know what we should do one year? Werewolves or dogmen.
But not this year.
Not this year. I'm back
Certainly
on the ring.
Yeah. Can't sleep 7 days. Won't do it.
Gotta say, I finally watched. Yeah, it's like I said, fuck dogmen, fuck werewolves. Finally watched the original Japanese The Ring. Had never seen it. I've seen the American one several times, but I'd never seen the original Japanese one. And gotta say, it was good. It was good, and I'm glad I watched it. I like the American one a little better.
Interesting. I don't know if I have seen the Japanese one either.
It's good. It is good. I would say it is worth watching, but I like some of the choices better in the American one.
Are there like major differences?
Script-wise, they're virtually the same. Okay. It is beat for beat the same story, basically.
Interesting.
But there are some visual choices in the Gore Verbinski version that I kind of like better.
Oh, man. I got to watch that again. That movie fucked me up when it came out.
It's a good movie. It's good. It's good. Really it holds up. I don't know if it's still scary. Like I'm so like diluted of like movies don't really scare me anymore, but it's good. It's a fun adventure.
Get enough the horror movies they just don't touch your brain?
Not really. I won't say never, but when they do, it's very special. It Follows really spooked me out. Hereditary, I won't say scared me, but fucked me up.
Yeah, I agree. Hereditary fucked me. That scene, with the younger sister,
it
horrible.
Affected me.
What'd you think of Midsummer?
I think it's an interesting movie, and I'm glad I watched it. And I think Ari Aster is one of the more interesting filmmakers out right now, and I will be following his career. It's a movie that I think has problems and has elements of tastelessness that I think it's exciting to find the line. I think it's fun to play with the line. I do think he crossed it, and he maybe needs to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
But, there was enough. There's a scene in Midsummer. I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but there's a scene that is so viscerally violent that I was so I'm pretty adjusted to like normal levels of movie violence. This was so violent that I actually checked out of the movie and had to like only see it as special effects, like it was too much for me.
Yeah, I agree. No, there were parts where I was like, didn't need to do that.
Right. And I'm all for like an artist, testing limits and finding where the limit was, but like, oh yeah, no, there's a limit here for me.
Yeah.
Turns out I do have a ceiling for the violence.
Totally. It felt kind of like a throwback to, I feel like almost like 70s, 80s, like Wicker Man.
It's very Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Wicker Man?
Yeah.
Great movie.
Classic.
I've never seen the Nicolas Cage one sober, but the Nicolas Cage one is very fun while you're high.
Have you seen, oh my God, what's that more recent Nicolas Cage one where he fights the demons?
Mandy. I need to give that one another go. Everyone really, really liked it. I was kind of lukewarm on it.
I thought it was really fun. I saw it with two buddies of mine who I go see horror movies with frequently, or I used to back before.
In the before
times, literally. And they were just like fun, they're just like horror movie guys. Like they're not big like movie buffs. They just like to go see horror movies. And we saw it and they thought it was really fun. And we saw it at IFC and we were walking out. And this kid kind of like who was in the theater like started tagging along with us and just like really like unpacking Mandy. And both my friends were like, shut the fuck up. You saw Cheddar Goblin, right? Like it's just like a fun, stupid Nicolas Cage great movie. Like it's great.
Right. I wasn't that into it, but I think I'm wrong. And I think I need to give it another go, because everyone liked it so much. That's the thing. I think maybe also like it got overhyped in my brain. Of like I was kind of
I think it's just a dumb Nicolas Cage movie that's also fun and has some weird cool aesthetics
and that was what was cool. And I will also throw out there I was really baked when I watched it. Speaking of dumb Nicolas Cage horror movies, did you see Willy's Wonderland?
No.
It's a little bit of like a Five Nights at Freddy's thing, but it's Nicolas Cage versus living animatronic like Chuck E. Cheese, like in a Chuck E. Cheese with demonic like Chuck E. Cheese puppets. But the gimmick that got me into, and it's not a great movie. It's okay. It's not great. But Nicolas Cage is silent through the movie. He doesn't say a word of dialogue. He's just.
Do they give a reason or just?
He is just a silent drifter. There are other characters who speak in the movie. There are a lot. There's several. There are these teen characters, and they have all the dialogue. Nicolas Cage is this silent drifter who comes in and fucks up puppets.
That's awesome.
It's fun. That part of it is very fun.
I'm looking at like stills right now of the different puppets.
It's a good late night watch. I wouldn't go out of your way, but like there's a certain magic to that kind of movie, like after midnight.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm gonna say fuck it to transitions. Can I read you something I found on Quora that I think is gonna get into one of the big questions we have about the Dogman?
Yeah, please do. That's incredible.
Okay, so on Quora, I found somebody. I can't find the person who asked, but they just simply asked, "What are the differences between a dogman and a werewolf?" Now we have here Jeff Cox. Jeff Cox here is listed as long-term researcher and student of the Bigfoot phenomena. And their answer here is pretty simple. The difference is Dogman exists and werewolves do not. Which I think is a great answer.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So even
I'm Team Dogman. Well, I wonder if, here's the thing, if we're just getting into this, I wonder if dogmen are more docile and friendly than werewolves or wolfmen.
A good question. I mean? A good question.
Like a dog versus wolf dichotomy.
Right. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd rather run into a random dog in the woods than a wolf.
Exactly.
Wolf's
You'd be happy
ruin...
to see a random dog.
Right. That might be that has a good chance of being an awesome encounter.
Exactly.
Wolf,
100%.
Wolf, those odds change a little bit.
Could be bad. That's right.
Well, I would in fact say probably bad. Best case scenario, the wolf's afraid of you, right?
How dangerous is a wolf?
How dangerous is if you just came across one single wolf?
Does it even do anything, or they need the whole pack?
Yeah. Okay. Just to really nail down this thought experiment here. One wolf. You're in the woods. You are surprised by the wolf. The wolf is surprised by you. It's fully even ground. You're in the wolf's home turf. But apart from that, even ground. I think the wolf just runs for it, right?
It probably goes and gets the pack, and then they all kill me.
I mean, yeah.
But that 1v1, I think I'm okay.
Do we? Oh, so you have to just fight you're right. I think in any circumstance, I don't know about what would happen if The Rock had to fight a wolf. I think if you and I had to fight a wolf, even together, even 2-on-1, we're dead.
You know what's a sad thing that I always think about that they say is that you can kill a dog or a canine instantly by grabbing its forepaws and ripping them apart.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true, but it's such a brutal image. Right. It hurts me.
Yeah, I typed into Google how dangerous is a wolf? I have here, wolves in the wild usually do not pose a threat to humans. Wolves are very cautious animals that generally avoid contact with humans. To put it simply, they are just not interested in humans because they neither categorize as prey nor as, the word they have here is conspecifics. C-O-N specifics. I don't know what that means.
Never heard that.
Well,
we're not that. That's good.
We're not. We know we're not it. But I'm going to Google that word real fast. Conspecific is a member of the same species. So they don't think we're the same. They don't think we're prey. So they're like, hey,
we're just a fellow wood bro. We're just hanging out with them.
Fellow wood bro. Getting back to Jeff Cox here. Okay, so even though my main subject of interest is Bigfoot, not the Dogman, over the years I have read and heard many witnesses' accounts that describe them quite a bit. Dogmen typically are described as follows: 7 to 9 feet tall on their hind feet while standing up, covered in hair and resembling a large wolf that stands up like a man. It is usually reported to have hands that are similar to ours, but with shorter, broader fingers. Their hind legs are shaped like a dog's, and their feet leave tracks that are sometimes described as being similar to a dog's, only larger and with a more triangular shape. This response here by Jeff Cox is so fucking long, I will post it on the blog. So here's the thing about the dog. So the Dogman is sort of like a local Michigan cryptid, and some surrounding states have also claimed sightings. Earlier in the show, I played that Steve Cook song. That he played on, he was a disc jockey at a radio, he played that song. He has claimed, oh, that was just an April Fool's joke, I fully made that up. But people would call into the radio station yo, I've seen that shit. I don't think he made up the concept of the Dogman, but all the stories in his song were just his April Fool's joke. But it has led to people calling in, and there are, quote unquote, a lot of sightings of the Dogman in Michigan. There is a full, and it's not Michigan specific, there's a full Dogman Encounters podcast that is just dedicated to people who have seen the Dogman.
I just hope the Dogman. I have a couple things to say. I hope the Dogman is just a bear. I hope it's just people.
That's
seeing
almost
a bear.
definitely what it is, right? Like,
a bear. Here's a fun thing: bears are actually kind of closely related to dogs, which makes sense if you ever like look at their face and their snout and everything.
Right,
kind of got a dog head.
If only there was an animal with kind of a dog with dog-like features that can stand up.
Exactly.
That was also in the Michigan woodland area.
7 to 9 feet tall. Exactly.
Nope, must be a dog man.
Here's the better theory, that this DJ, with the magic of song, has summoned some kind of tulpa situation.
That is the power of rock and roll, as we all know.
Yeah, you can summon mythological. You can invent and summon mythological beings with your tunes.
I mean, that's the worst X-Men power, but
yeah, or the best.
Or the best
one. If you could just make a monster, if your X-Men powers, you can summon a monster, that's pretty good.
That's the one that's the theory I'm choosing to believe. So I have here, I have an article from ourmidland.com. This is the Midland Daily News. I assume this is local Michigan. And I haven't read this yet. I just have the headline, which is Michigan trucker believes he encountered shot the Dogman. This is very recent. This is from October 5th, 2022. So I'm just going to read it. Let's see where we end up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Let's see. 'Tis the season. This article is by Angela Mulca. She's a staff writer at the Midland Daily News. 'Tis the season of the eerie and the unexplained. The legends and other shared tales told around campfires passed down from generation to generation to inspire terror or to warn others of malevolent creatures that may live among us. One Michigan truck driver traveling through Manistee National Forest 5 years ago had an experience with a creature at the heart of one of the state's most popular urban legends, the Michigan Dogman. And it changed his life forever. Trucker Joe Barger, 59, recently recounted his story to the host of the YouTube channel What Lurks Beneath, which tells the story about the mysterious and supernatural with 342,000 subscribers. Gonna throw out there, Eric, we don't have 342,000 subscribers.
Do we have 342?
I think we have about 64 on YouTube.
That's great. That's a multiple of that number.
That's about the same.
We're in double digits.
Here's our weekly shout out to K Sammy Bop.
Oh, every time.
Keeping it alive in the comments. Thanks, bud.
The most loyal listener we've ever seen.
The video featuring Barger's interview was posted on the channel on September 12th, 2022, and has close to 150,000 views. Shout out to the 20 people who have... I don't know, we average from 12 to 20. We're doing great, Eric. We're doing great.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Okay, even if you don't believe what I'm saying is truthful, it might be something you can draw on in the future in case you ever do have an experience with the Dogman, which is an advantage that I never had. He brings up a good point here. Even if you're never going to encounter a crazy cryptid, fucking be ready for it. Just be ready for it. You never know.
Yeah, every time.
Scout's always prepared.
That's right.
Okay. He explained he thinks it's important for Michigan residents to be aware of what he saw, which was, if this is true, a bear.
Great.
Barger, a 6-year Army veteran, was transporting a 43,000-pound load of paper from a mill in northern Michigan through the forest on his typical route when he encountered the Dogman on an evening in June. He said he had never heard of the cryptid before the incident, which took place within 15 to 20 seconds at most. So, bear. I would swear as a Christian on the Bible, this is all 100% factual truth, Barger said in the video. Leading up to the encounter, Barger realized while driving he had an air leak. Wanting to fix it before he got too far into the forest, he stopped to look at it. He found the air leak by the back brake chamber on the trailer. With the materials to fix it, Barger positioned himself underneath the trailer and began to get a bad feeling. Ooh.
I feel like changing a tire and the entrance to a spooky woods.
No, thank you.
You don't want that.
No,
yeah,
thank
no,
you.
you don't want that.
Straight
You leave the car. You just start running back to the nearest town. You just abandon the vehicle and your family.
I'm abandoning 43,000 pounds of paper. No, thank you.
Yeah, don't need it.
Little known fact, Eric and I were once truckers together, and we have abandoned 43,000 pounds of cargo because too spooky, too dark.
Yeah, you don't need that. They don't pay me for that.
We saw a hitchhiker and just went, nope, and we ran.
Can I say, I think we'd be good. We'd be a good trucker duo.
That's the thing. There needs to be more. Trucker, you know how like cops always have partners? Truckers need partners.
They actually should. Then you could drive all night.
Right?
Never stop driving.
Two guys,
why
two
don't
car?
They do that?
Actually, why don't they do that?
Company idea. Yeah, what?
Why don't you just put two guys in the car?
Yeah, one man sleeping, the other man driving. Sleep, drive, sleep, drive, sleep, drive, go.
It's paying two guys to do it has to be worth. Has to already literally
never stop.
One crash not happening has to pay for itself. Has to pay the year's salary of another guy, right?
100%. But then, how many more crashes happen because of trucker pal bickering? That probably shoots way up.
A great point. Like just arguing about the audiobook you're going to listen to. Like, God damn it,
Exactly.
we're not doing Harry Potter again.
Come on! Yeah.
It's the Prisoner of Azkaban. It's the best one.
That's the one caveat. You both have to listen to the same thing. You can only use the truck stereo system. You can't use headphones.
Right.
No private audio. That would be dangerous. You can't do that.
Too dangerous
For private audio.
Okay, so Barger is positioned underneath the trailer and begins to get a bad feeling. I was hearing a vocalization that wasn't natural, Barger said in the video. It wasn't a sound I had ever heard before. I was looking around and I saw some shadowing in the wood line, but there was plenty of light to see. It was nowhere near getting dark yet. Oh, it's in the middle of the day? Fuck you. Yeah, change your tire.
Yeah, you're fine.
I was in bear country, so I perceived the shadowing to be a black bear at the time. All right, he's addressed our bear problem.
Okay.
When he realized he could be near a black bear, Barger got back into the truck and checked out the air, which was good to go. It held and took me not even 5 minutes to fix, Barger said in the video. The woods continued giving Barger a bad feeling, but he thought everything was normal until he started driving again. He checked his driver's side mirror for any traffic on the 2-lane road at the bottom of a hill. There was no traffic. As he started going up the hill and looked in his right side mirror, he saw it was darker than it should be. There was a wolf head the size of my window, and my windows were down, Barger said in the video. He was trotting along next to me, and I was going about 20 to 25 miles per hour at that point.
That's pretty good.
And he was stooping down low on two legs, looking down inside of my cabin. I'm at 9 feet tall in my seat. His hands were coming up and scratching my windowsill. On my door handle, I could hear his claws.
You think maybe he just wanted to be in the car, riding in the car, sticking his head out of the window like a dog?
You need a buddy, man. The buddy system. He's just there to fix the buddy system.
Yeah, exactly.
Time slowed down, Barger continued in the video. I thought I was in like an alternate reality or something, because a creature like this doesn't exist in a reality I've ever known of, Barger continued in the video. I have heard of Bigfoot, and I know those to be something that is talked about. This was a whole different thing altogether. Bigfoot has nothing on the Dogman, according to Barger. It has a lot of sharp teeth, and the teeth on this thing were like brilliant white, Barger said in the video. 3-inch long fangs, bottom and top. pure black pointed ears. It had yellow eyes with human-like hands probably 14 inches across. It was at least 10 feet from how it was stooping into my cabin. His yellow eyes were darting all over the place and looking at me. How this creature looked was mad and determined to get to me, Barger continued in the video. He was sneering. He wasn't even making any noises vocally, but the looks he was giving me and the intelligence in his eyes was telling me I'm here to get you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
He's assuming a lot there.
He's assuming a whole... I'm saying he said this was like a 15 to 20 second encounter.
That's a lot of information you took from one look.
I mean, hey, that's Dogman for you, baby.
That's not very communicative, very expressive snarls and growling. Where do you fall in the Dogman v Bigfoot dichotomy?
I think I mean, I guess what's the question here? Do I think which one do I think is more likely to be real? Which one do I think would win in a fight?
Open-ended. I'm not going to repeat it. Just Dogman v Bigfoot, go.
You know what? I like an underdog. So you know what? Why not Dogman? Why not Dog? Go Dogman.
Underdog man. That's another T-shirt idea. Right in there.
Underdog man. We're not an underdog podcast, Eric. We're an underdog man podcast.
That's right. That's a whole different category. It's a whole different thing. Because people aren't even sure if we exist. That's the categorical difference. In underdog, he's there, he's real, he's just worse, maybe, but he's got a shot. Underdog man. Have you even heard of this thing? Is it real?
Why does a dog man with sightings and his several podcasts and YouTube channels dedicated to him get to be a cryptid, and we're just assholes?
Yeah, we don't even exist in the minds of 99.999.
We are more obscure than the dog man.
Absolutely. If we could get a dog man on the show, that'd be a huge get.
Oh, fuck. Thank God we stopped trying. Remember when we were trying? What were we thinking?
That was truly our biggest mistake.
And gotta say, the show wasn't better than this.
No, absolutely not. Arguably worse.
Oh shit. I just read the next sentence, and this is where it gets good.
Talk to me.
I can't wait for you to read what's about to happen in this 15 to 20 second encounter with the dog man, Eric.
I love this.
That is when he remembered his handgun.
Feel like you gotta keep that one top of mind.
Yeah, right? Barger pulled out his .45 Colt strapped to his waist and took 2 shots at the creature.
Hell yeah.
He instantly went down, Barger said. I was looking at him.
I'm saying right now, this man just killed a bearded cyclist.
Damn hippie deserved it.
Just shot him right in the face.
I'm awkwardly taking off my jacket. And it was
it's getting a little steamy in here.
It's getting a little thinking about dogmen and guns. Okay, he instantly went down, Barger said. I was looking at him, and he was sliding into the weeds. I was at almost point-blank range, so I'm pretty sure I got him through the eye orbit. His head was huge. Everything on this animal was black except his teeth and his eyes. I wasn't really panicked, but it's the scaredest I've ever been in my life. All right, bud.
Can we say scaredest?
It would be most scared. Most scared.
Scaredest.
But we all, sometimes when we're just talking, we just put words together. I get it.
Sure, I know I do.
Barger, assuming the creature to be dead, wanted to turn around and check on the carnage to make sure he didn't, quote-unquote, lose his mind. About a mile up the road, he found a spot large enough to turn his truck around in. I wanted to make sure I killed it, he said in the video. I wanted to know more about what just occurred.
Yeah, kill that dog.
As Barger was coming back down the hill at most 5 minutes after the shooting, it was gone. In its place was a Jeep and 2 people. Barger said he was concerned about people being somewhere potentially dangerous, so he stopped to talk to them. They gave me a story that they were watching a few bears fighting each other. I was worried about them being outside with what had just happened, but I didn't want to let them know what I had just done, so I left.
Who is this guy?
This is Barger, baby.
What's this guy's deal?
I feel like this guy's got a whole deal, and I want to know
He's worried about the bears?
He's worried about the people watching the bears fighting, knowing that he shot a dogman.
Oh, my God.
Barger thinks because the other people claim to have seen 2 bears that maybe there could be more dogmen in the area besides the one he shot. I was really in shock for a good while, Barger said in the video. I was still driving the truck, and I didn't even know how I got back. I shouldn't have been driving the truck in this state of mind, but I wasn't going to stay around or park anywhere near there. It was the most terrifying thing I could think anybody could go through. Worse than even any combat situation, because at least you know what you're dealing with there. Barger had nightmares for 6 months to a year on and off.
Do we have a year? Do we have a year on this story?
This article is from October 5th, 2022. The video that he spoke in is from September 2022, and he says that was about this encounter happened about 5 years ago.
So we were fully in the age of cell phones.
Fully. This was reasonably recent.
He's got every ability to call the police and say, hey, I just killed something. Yeah. I killed a humanoid entity.
Could do that.
You could do that.
Which the dogman did conveniently run away into the bushes.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't see a corpse, is the thing.
You never do. You never do find a corpse.
You never do. Okay, Barger had nightmares for 6 months to a year on and off. The nightmares got less prevalent as time went on, and he doesn't deal with them anymore. I'm in a lot better shape now, and I thought it was important to get this information out. That's why my story is out now. It just took me this long to get right with the people that I want to that I know have my back. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Oh, here's where it gets good. Oh, here's where it gets good, buddy. Additionally, Barger claims the federal government is keeping the existence of the dogman quiet.
See, to me, that makes sense, though.
There we go.
He shot this thing twice in the face. It just disappears.
I smell cover-up.
There's got to be some kind of FBI, CIA involved. That doesn't just happen. You shoot anything in the face twice, it's going to go down.
Wait, what? Oh my God, get rid of that. After I got better from the nightmares, I had a family member tell me I should get this out to the public, Barger said in the video. So I talked to one podcaster that is popular in the cryptid space, and I didn't want to be out there publicly, so he took notes and narrated my story about 4 years ago. 3 months later, Barger said he was detained at a quote-unquote scale house by state police to wait for federal authorities.
So I just want to confirm, a scale house is where they weigh the truck, presumably, right?
Oh, that makes sense. I was wondering what that was. That makes sense. Okay, so he's saying here they were like, yo, you got to stay at the scale house.
Yeah, he goes to weigh in, he's on a route, and then the federales are waiting there for him.
Because he knows about the dogman.
It's a trap. Yeah, he knows way too much about the dogman, and or he's a serial killer.
Eric, we can never weigh anything on a scale. This is why we can't be truckers.
Exactly.
Because the federal government will know that we know too much.
I wouldn't wait. If I was a trucker, I'd never stop at a scale house. I would just cruise right on through.
What are they going to do?
Yeah, I'm not stopping at the scale house. They can't stop me.
When the federal authorities first showed up, they were very intimidating and angry, he said in the video. I didn't know what was going on. Eric? Now I'm worried we're dealing with a mentally ill man.
Every time.
Why does that so seem to me the best ones always end up? We always end up here. We always end up here.
I get so excited. Let me ask you this question. Someone emails us, gets in touch with us. They've got some kind of Dogman story. They just want to tell us, and we write it down and narrate it. We're open for that kind of business, right?
Absolutely. Feel free to, because let me tell you, no federal authorities will listen to this podcast.
Never. You probably get fired if you do.
Yes. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to start from the beginning here because we're getting into this. When the federal authorities, first showed up, they were very intimidating and angry, he said in the video. I didn't know what was going on. They said, quote, "You killed one of our assets, and this is how things are going to go down." Barger knew the only thing he killed in the last year was the creature. This was their property, and they were mad that I killed it. And they were trying to get me to stop talking about it. They probably knew who I was from the narration story. In the video, Barger said that the federal authorities threatened him, confiscated his gun, and shut his bank account off for some time. I stopped talking about it until recently, he said. This is probably another tool in their toolbox for military operations of some kind. If they don't keep it under wraps, it won't be a useful tool for them anymore. The Dogman has been on the minds of Michiganders for the last 130 years, starting in 1887. That's when two lumberjacks saw a creature they described as having a man's body and a dog's head. According to the legend, the Dogman appears to humans in 10-year cycles that fall on years ending in the number 7, according to the Michigan History Center. Barger's encounter happened in 2017.
I mean, you can't even. That's too much of a coincidence to deny.
This is evidence right here.
Yeah,
we're breaking this Dogman story.
Hang on. Let me ask you that. Let me ask you this. Why Michigan?
Why Michigan?
Why are the Michiganders plagued by the Dogman?
I will say, while it's maybe the stories are popular in Michigan because that's probably where they originated from. There are several in like my bare minimum Googling of Dogman encounter podcasts. A lot of European dogmen, nationwide. A lot of dogmen. When we went to Paracon this last summer, there was a gentleman who runs a Connecticut cryptid exploration center. I don't know if you remember this gentleman. But he spoke about a dogman in Meriden, Connecticut. And I'm going to throw out there, I don't know if we can just steal Michigan's thing and just say, oh.
We can't just have a Connecticut dogman.
No.
No,
you can't just be like, oh, we have a Dogman too.
Though here's a question. Here's a serious question for you. I wonder if there's different breeds in sort of different areas. You know,
the Australian Shepherd Dogman.
Exactly, the Bulldog Man, the Shih Tzu Dogman,
the Chihuahua Dogman, which is like it's the smallest, but man, it'll fuck you up.
It's just a Chihuahua.
Oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, dude.
Man, oh dog, man.
That's another t-shirt. Man, oh dog, man.
Hell yeah. I think we kind of got to the bottom of this mystery. Dogman real. Federal government deeply involved.
That's what makes sense to me.
I'd like to explore though, how does the federal government utilize a Dogman asset?
Right, like what's the point if it's just going to chase truckers in the woods?
I hope they have it just go undercover with regular dogs. Like the play is that it insinuates itself as the adorable pet of a target.
I see.
So it has the intelligence of a man, but can pass as a dog, but not really.
I got to throw out there, I'm sorry to take it off the train of like military involvement, but I find it interesting. People, this article from ourmidland.com, which don't get me wrong, this article is a fun local news Halloween story. Sure. But they talk about that Oh, the origins are from lumberjacks in Michigan seeing the Dogman in 1887. 1887 is the year we keep seeing as, oh, that's how far reports of sightings of the Dogman go back. But the mention of the 1887 Dogman is in that 1987 Steve Cook song that he says he just made up. So why Michigan? Probably because Steve Cook, a radio DJ, made it up in Michigan.
But why did Steve Cook even think about it?
I don't I was thinking maybe it was already a story, but now I'm thinking maybe. So here's his quote. On Skeptoid.com, I made it up completely from my own imagination as an April Fool's prank for the radio and stumbled my way into a legend that goes all the way back to Native American times. So I guess this also ties into we've talked a little bit about skinwalker stuff, which is a bit of a Native American legend. Yeah. And I did wonder, in looking out werewolves, I was wondering how much of that was just another thing the white man stole from Native Americans, was that their thing that we were just now we have a movie with Lon Chaney and it's ours.
I do feel like there were European legends of the Wolfman.
That's
of the werewolf
on the Wikipedia. But
I could be making that up.
On the Wikipedia, dusty old tome that I pulled off the shelves about werewolfology. I have here in folklore, a werewolf or occasionally lycanthrope is a human with the ability to shape. Blah 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 blah. Early sources for this belief in this ability or affliction. Widespread concept in European folklore, existing in many variants, which are related by a common development of Christian interpretation of underlying European folklore, developed through the medieval period. Interesting.
There's actually speaking of movies, there's a great, I think it's called Le Loup or something. It's a French horror movie about a werewolf. And
I don't think I've heard of that.
Squad that needs to go hunt it down. And it's based on an actual thing of there were serious wolf problems back in the wolves used to go eat children, literally in a village.
Right. Easy pickings.
Yeah, they're right there. Funny.
You want to hear? So I was talking about the Connecticut Dogman. Connecticut Dogman. Would you like to, before we get out of here? Would you like to hear about some of our favorite subjects to talk about this show on this show? Ed and Lorraine Warren in Monroe, Connecticut dealt with a werewolf.
I would. I'm sure that, of course they did.
Of course they did.
Of course they did.
They have a book called that's just titled Werewolf. And my guess would be, I don't know the exact dating on this. My guess would be that I think we're on the later end of the Warrens' career, and we are a little bit fuck it, let's try a werewolf. They aren't going for the
werewolf.
Let's throw a fucking werewolf in there.
I feel like if you're on that career trajectory, and we'll do the least charitable interpretation where you're just making stuff up, at a certain point, you gotta go through all of the classic monsters.
Right.
You do demons, you do ghosts. Okay, let's do a vampire. Let's do a werewolf. Let's do them all.
I wonder they didn't get to a Frankenstein, or a creature from the Black Lagoon, but they would have. Though. They might have.
They could have. Long enough time frame.
Tony, there's still time. Tony,
that's right.
Tony,
that's right.
Tony, if you're listening, we know you're listening. Tony Sparrow, we know you're listening. We would love to help you hunt a Frankenstein.
Anytime. There's got to be at least one out there lumbering about.
This hasn't gotten out there yet. I have not put it on the show yet. When we were at Paracon, so an early obsession of our show has been Tony Sparrow, the Warrens' son-in-law. And he's sort of taken over the family business a little bit. And he's one of my favorite people in the world, and I wanted to celebrate him at Paracon by putting a framed photo of him on our on our table, on our booth, with like some roses. Because he's the patron saint of our podcast. He's an Italian-American ghost-busting hero. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Tony Sparrow was going to be at the con.
He was super there. We saw him with our own eyes.
He was super there. And Eric, we decided that we were not going to go introduce ourselves. We were going to wait for him to come to us.
Didn't happen.
So we have this picture. And he's coming down the alleyway, right? Like in between some tables. And he is like he's like a little king, just bestowing favor on tables at Paracon. And everyone's bowing in reverence to the man. And I was too from afar. He's the man. But he comes to a like little junction. And if he turned to the left, he'd come to us. Or he could go right and kind of sort of deeper into the convention. And I swear to God, he looks at our table. His eyes pass by our table. I feel like I make eye contact with him. Mm. And then he just turns to the right and he's off in the sea of people. And that's the last time I saw him at Paracon.
Like a dogman, he just disappears into the mist of the wood.
One day we'll get Tony on this show.
One day. I think, come on. We were a Paracon. We know the drill. Come on.
We know the drill. We know the drill.
I love how we've created this completely artificial barrier.
Yes.
To ever having Tony Sparrow on the show.
It seems like the way to get Tony Sparrow on the show is just ask Tony Sparrow to be on the show.
Just shoot him.
But I don't think we're ready to try that yet.
Absolutely not. No way. Couldn't happen. Impossible.
So I have here the South End Werewolf. This is just a little blurb, a paragraph from travelchannel.com, and it's the 7 most famous cases investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren. This werewolf case is alluded to in the Conjuring universe movie Annabelle Comes Home, which is a lot of fun. Not a great movie, but a fun movie. And there's a brief reference to this werewolf. But, okay, reading directly from travelchannel.com, one of the most bizarre cases ever investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren occurred in Essex, England. A seemingly ordinary carpenter named William Ramsey claimed to be possessed by a demon that compelled him to take the form of a werewolf. Ramsey had experienced his first transformation at the age of 9. As he described it, he was playing outside when he felt an icy cold breeze, followed by an awful smell before he flew into a rage, uprooting a fence post, while with the fence still attached and gnawing at the wire mesh. Ramsey would not experience another episode like this until adulthood. Bill would fly into violent fits of rage, during which he would display inhuman strength, baring his teeth and growling while curling his hands like claws. The Warrens caught wind of this in 1989, and they convinced Bill Ramsey to come to their church in Connecticut to undergo an exorcism with their specialist, Bishop Robert McKenna. Now, I thought this was interesting. We've seen, we've talked about on this show, the Warrens talking about their connection with the Catholic Church, which to me I grew up Catholic. To me, has all sound made up.
Yes.
This is the first naming of a bishop I've seen.
They don't name drop the bish a lot.
Right.
They keep that close to the vest.
So I've looked up Robert McKenna. I have here from his dusty tome I've got off the shelf. Robert Fidelis McKenna, he died December 16th, 2015, was an archbishop, was an American sedaprivationalist. Cannot pronounce this word for the life of me. Basically, it's a bishop. If I'm understanding correctly, someone feel free to correct me on the internet. It seems to be a bishop who isn't into the Pope. Like in the Catholic Church, a Catholic bishop who's like, I don't buy the Pope. So
So
not
it's like a rogue bishop?
that's kind of what I'm gathering.
Is this guy even in the church? Is this even a real bishop in the Catholic Church, or is this just a guy? Because you can just be a bishop, Brian.
I guess that's true. I'm gonna send you the Wikipedia article through so you can see this for yourself. So he was ordained a Catholic priest for the Dominican Order in 1958. So at least he was. He served in Monroe, Connecticut, at Our Lady of Rosary. He only resigned for health reasons. He resided in Michigan until his death. I'm looking up Sedeprivationism. Sedeprivationism. A doctrinal position within the traditionalist Catholicism, which holds that the current occupant of the Holy See is a duly elected pope, but lacks the authority and ability to teach or govern unless he recants the changes brought by the Second Vatican Council. The doctrine asserts...
Oh, yeah.
Does that make more sense to you than it does to me?
Yeah,
got it.
Sort of. So the Second Vatican... We should do a whole episode on the Second Vatican Council.
Sure. So my understanding here is basically there are it's not the Pope as a position. It's basically certain popes are not technically the Pope. They haven't fulfilled the requirements to be the Pope.
I think it's every pope after the Second Vatican Council. The office is no longer valid because they've introduced changes to the church that they don't recognize. So everybody post Second Vatican Council, not a real pope. Every pope before Second Vatican, now that's a pope.
Now that's a pope.
Now you got yourself a pope.
We got another T-shirt, man. Now that's a pope.
Now that's a pope.
Now that's what I call music, but old popes.
Yeah. Exactly. Older popes. Best of the popes. Top of the popes.
I have here his exorcist section of his Wikipedia dusty tome. McKenna participated in a number of exorcisms and worked for many years with demonologist David Considine and Rama Kumar Swami, M.D. Some of his cases were also investigated by psychic researchers such as the Warrens. He attempted exorcisms in the Smurl haunting case, which case was described in various books and in the Fox TV movie The Haunted. One notable incident is the Maurice Thirault case, where although McKenna felt that he was successful in removing the demons from Maurice, but never took into account Maurice's severe health issues. Later on, Maurice went on to kill herself.
Not great.
Not great. That's what you get for cold reading.
Yeah, don't do that.
So okay. This is an interesting quote from Robert McKenna about the Catholic Church. The official establishment does not believe in the devil, but the devil believes in them. They do not believe, and when they do, they don't want to get involved, which has been my experience. I grew up Catholic. The devil didn't come up that much. He was more of a metaphorical figure.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like modern Catholicism is a little more warm and fuzzy, but don't they still officially believe in the devil?
I think that maybe on paper officially, but I think what McKenna was saying was they don't actually. They maybe even say they do, but they don't.
Seriously.
Right. Which, is how I grew up and didn't. I was never raised to take that part of it seriously.
Yeah, it's a metaphor.
Right. That was certainly kind of what I was
Hell is when you're mean to your mom and dad.
It was I remember even being taught I went to Catholic school. That hell, I remember my 5th grade teacher even telling us hell's not a literal place. That's not a thing.
I remember my my mom tells the story of this like bishop they really liked in their town because they were like Irish Catholic also. And he was like, I think he told them, he's like, yeah, no, your dog has a soul. It's fine. Like he does. We're not supposed to say it. He does. It's okay.
I remember I'm in Catholic school, and there was a night where basically my class was brought into the church basement, and our local priest was like what's the way? I don't remember what the word for like head of the parish was, but he would basically answer any questions we had, just literally hit me with them. And like one kid got real nitty gritty about like, well, like how did Adam and Eve like make more people for that to be and like, so like the leader of like our church community, which is like, it's a story, kid. Like it's like, that's not literal.
I feel like I've literally seen you backed into that scenario in like a D&D game. Yeah. Like this is not, we are playing pretend. This is, I don't know what's on page 33 of the tome. I didn't.
What's these books? That. I don't know. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. They're blank. They're all blank inside.
Nothing. I just want you to fight the goblins. There's no lore about the goblins. Fight the goblins.
I'll give you a hint. They're in the next room. Go over there.
Time to move.
Yeah. We're running out. I got Bachelor at 8. We gotta really wrap this thing up.
Eric, any other we're about out of time. Any other thoughts on the Michigan Dogman or werewolves or Catholicism?
Man. I think as ever we've only barely scratched the surface.
I know.
You know?
But that's all hey. And thank God, because I don't know anything past the surface.
I feel like we're writing a 1,000-page tome, one little scattered paragraph at a time.
Well,
you know what I mean?
We'll get there, bud.
We'll do it. We'll do that. We'll do whatever that is. We'll do it.
This has been Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. We release every Wednesday. We have a Twitter. It's at Brian and Eric Pod. We have a blog, briananderic.show. I have another podcast. It's called The Talon Mix. It's about Smallville. It releases on Fridays. Go check that out. You don't even have to like Smallville that much. It's just a fun podcast. Eric, any thoughts?
No, I think we knocked it out of the park.
I think we did it again. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.